What's up, guys? Renasant here. Welcome back to the channel. So we are back in the ringed inner city streets. I did go and change my character. You remember in the last episode I wasn't really enjoying, or I didn't change my character, but I reallocated my stats. Basically I've just gone back to like a pyromancy strength type build, using this chaos Zweihander. Mainly doing that. The primary reason, honestly, was just because I didn't really enjoy playing with that other build. And we'll change builds once again, I'm sure, here in a little bit. But for now, if you remember in the previous episode, we had unlocked this shortcut here. So there's something interesting about this shortcut. Obviously, we could proceed further. If you remember, we saw Madeir chilling. Yeah, we see Madeir just hanging out, having a good old time. Yes, we're aware that you exist, my friend. We've completed this whole area, so this area is done. However, there is one more thing that we want to take care of before we proceed forward. We still want to help Lap find the Purging Stone, right? And for players that have never played this before, it's probably going to be impossible for them to find this thing. Honestly, it's been so long since I played this, I don't remember how I found out about it. I know I didn't find it out for myself, but anyway, what you want to do when you come over here, you'll notice that this will let you actually read this engraving. It says, show your humanity. That could be anything. I remember back when this first came out, and the big time like Dark Souls people like Lobos and ENB and Vadivid and all those. I remember watching them like trying to figure it out or whatever, and it's actually pretty entertaining. And I don't really see a way that you could have figured this out on your own necessarily. I don't know. It just seems like one of those things that it would be really hard to figure out on your own, I guess. But anyway, what we want to do here is equip some young white branches, which we have found in this area, so hopefully you haven't used them all. If you have, I believe you can buy them from the Shrine Handmade at this point, but we just want to come down here and take care of Mr. Roachman here. And then we actually want to use this young white branch in the swamp. We don't want to use it on the stairs. We want to use it in the swamp. And boom. Anybody who's played Dark Souls 1 will recognize instantly that we are in fact a humanity sprite. The tricky thing about this is, well, the tricky thing about it's figuring it out, I guess. When you're in that swamp and you start using that young white branch, you may not just turn into a humanity sprite. You may turn into like a little statue or a cross or something like that, or a rock even. Just keep doing it. Eventually you'll turn into a humanity sprite. And you just want to come over here and it says show your humanity. Well, here we are. Hey, look at that. A ladder. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so like I said, it's kind of weird that people found that. There's no chance I would have ever figured it out. And of course I played a lot of Dark Souls 1, but I don't think I would have ever figured that out on my own. That's for damn sure. So it is quite a long ladder, as you can see. And of course we still hear Madeir out there throwing a little hissy fit. That's fine, he can do his thing. We just want to proceed up the way here. And we'll recognize this grassy knoll type area here. We've been to places like this before, but this is in fact a new location. First thing you're going to notice is you hear a familiar sound. And indeed it is a very familiar sound that we are hearing. It is an adjudicator. Now, luckily for us, the adjudicator actually... Oh, no, he can see us. Disregard. I was going to say, the adjudicator can't actually see us. But, as it turns out, he can. And that's fine. Can't summon any arrow boys over here, at least. The annoying part about this, honestly, is the freaking ring knights that attack you while you're fighting. Yes, I see you. Oh. There we go. So once you handle the ring knights, honestly, the adjudicator's very easily dispatched. As long as you stay over here, he's not going to summon arrow guys at you. Well, he did, but they don't come over here, so. And he is deceased. Get our divine blessing and our titanite chunk. And you'll notice some stairs right here. I'm just going to kind of show you the little area just because you may recognize where we are. That is Shira. And these are the long stairs going downwards here, so that lead into the swamp. And there is the purging monument right there. You remember we saw it earlier from where Lap originally was in that first bonfire area. You know, we saw the purging monument. And you may notice this area down here as well. That is where Lap is right now. He's in that little ballista right there. And so at this point, you can actually do one of two things. There's some items around here we definitely want to get, but you can see that leads clearly to the purging monument right there. So that is initially the way that we want to go. Oh god, I've been playing Dark Souls Remastered again. Sliding down ladders is not the same. You see the Herald Knights. Get your soul item. And now we're at the purging monument. So the purging monument, basically a bunch of skulls. You can request absolution or dissolution if you're cursed or if you sinned. We've done neither, so we personally don't really care. But finding the purging monument, and I believe like clicking on it, like just clicking A, like praying at it, will trigger you to have a response to Lap that you have indeed found the purging monument. So that's really the whole purpose of coming down here, of course. And like I said, Lap is actually just right here, so they make it very easy to get to him, which is nice. And we get the dragon head shield as well as a little present to ourselves, if you will. Which is right here. This shield, as hard as a great boulder, is formed by the head of the descendant of an archdragon. The ring knights, by command of the gods, stood amongst the ranks who set out to slay the dragons, but their contributions were never lauded. So this is the shield that the smaller ring knights use. It's not the one that the bigger ones use. I can't tell. I think this guy's using it, actually. The speared ones basically use the bigger one. Oh, well. That's hard to tell. Yeah, that is the dragon head shield. The dragon head great shield, which we are about to get pretty soon, looks a little different. But either way, we just want to come over here because we want to tell Lap, like, hey, bro, we found the purging monument, and we'll tell you where it is.
What did I come here in search of? Damn. Stop it. I'm unbreakable. Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, you say? So that's another clue here as to what's going on with Lap. I'm not going to get into it right now. We'll discover more in a little bit. But this is going to be our next to last interaction with Lap. So if you figured it out by this point, great.
Are you certain of that? No. Sorry, I know you'd never lie to me. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I'll speed right on over. It won't be long now before I know everything. Who I was, what I lived for, and what my name was. And I'll have you to thank for it all. I swear upon my birth name that I am your friend. No matter what might come out, no matter what I was, if you would do me the honor, allow me to be a true friend. Always. It won't be long now. Who I was.
Alright, so we're pretty much done with Lap's questline for the most part. There'll be one more encounter with him, but for the most part, that's pretty much it right there for Lap. Alright, so now it's time to progress. Is our Tears of Denial gone? Am I crazy? It looks like it's gone. There we go. So now we want to proceed forward and we shall encounter our good friend Midir. Remember, Shira told us to kill Midir. So you know what? We might just have to do that. We got to get to him first. Now this next little part right here is very rough. Basically when you step on this bridge here, well, I'll just let you see. Midir will not be appreciative of that and will go flying over here. So what we want to do now is just sprint across as fast as you can. You may get torched a little bit. Don't even worry about the items on the way over. Just cut right after that first item that you see, because there is this little crevice right here with this fatty chilling inside. Oh, soul item, great. So this is your little safety path right here. And of course you got some Titanite in here as well. So Midir just flies back and forth between these two locations. He flies from his little perch over there to... It's hard to see, but there's like... Yeah. I'll show you one more time. So we know his little perch up here. Hello, friend. He flies to the top of that little mountain right there. You can see him kind of hanging out up there. So what we want to do is just trigger him to come on down, and then we're going to sprint and head down that way right there, making sure to ignore the items on the way. So we really want to make a sprint for it right when that fire quits. Again, ignore the items. You'll have a chance to get the items, I promise. You may take a little damage, but it's nothing to be worried about. Please don't push me. Alright, so Midir's doing his thing up here. We actually want to go right into here. And so this is an interesting area. You'll notice this crystal lizard up here. We are going to go that way. You can alternatively, you can drop down right here for an interesting little tidbit of stuff. But we're going to chase this crystal lizard, and I will show you why right now. Boom! So it's, yeah, it's just a trap, basically. It's a trap to get you to come down here. And you'll see, well, first of all, you'll see this guy show up, and you'll see we are invaded by Moaning Spirit. the Moaning Spirit Knight, who you may recognize when we encounter here. He will be kind of like patrolling this big spiral staircase, so you definitely want to be aware of him because he is using a very interesting weapon that we have actually seen before. And of course, you do want to make sure you're embered, otherwise this encounter won't actually happen. So just continue along here through these little crevices. There's the Moaning Knight right there. I wouldn't recommend fighting him right here necessarily, because if you fight him right here, there's a good chance you're going to end up rolling off of this cliff. There you go. Looks a lot like Morn, doesn't he? Or Kareem, man. So when he dies, you'll get the blindfold mask. But he looks a lot like, you know, the guy that was protecting Arena. Blindfold mask, gonna be headpiece. An eye-occluding mask of unknown origin. Small cracks allow the wearer to see. Strengthens dark attacks, but also greatly increases damage sustained from dark. Purple steel creation has a certain resemblance to the Firekeeper's crown, but the similarity is purely cosmetic. Yeah, so, and you can see actually, I didn't even show you, but it, look at your dark defense, minus 30, oof. It does make your dark attack a little bit better, but not really worth it, honestly. I wonder if you can actually see. Yep, so you can actually see through here. Well, looks like a lap over there, huh? Doesn't it? Well, we gotta get to our old buddy, old pal, you know? Again, a couple more skellies to deal with here. I hate I can't kill them in one hit. Just continue up and you will find a hole in the ground. And this hole can easily be used to get you to where you need to go. So this is actually the way out right here. You can, if you'd like, go back, basically. But yeah, this is where Madeir's chilling. But now that we've done this, you know, we've gone all the way around at once. Now we want to come down here. And it's our good old buddy Lap.
Oh, finally, you've come. Now I know exactly who I was. And for that, I've a little thanks to be giving. Go this way and peep past the broken staircase. Some awfully fine treasures just sitting there all alone. It'll change your life.
You don't say, Lap. Boy, we have a similar pose, don't we? This is called Patches Squat. Now, I got this from the Unbreakable Patches earlier.
I've much to thank you for, so I'll say it again and again. Go this way and plop. I've much to plop.
So, you know, Patches likes to trick us a lot of the times and make us, you know, fall for. He's always like, oh yeah, there's nice treasure down there. You should go check it out. All right, Lap. You wouldn't do us dirty, would you? Lap.
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men. Rubbish to one such as I, devoid of all worldly wants.
Would you look at that?
I don't know. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
Lap, lap, lap. Lap was, in fact, unbreakable patches. Who would have thought, right? Like, it was super hard to figure out, you know. Yeah, you just want to continue along here. You can come back and get your blessed gem if you'd like. I think there's not actually a skeleton in here. But yeah, we're just continuing along the path. This is really, it's kind of a maze, but at the same time, it's really not. Also, this is a mimic, so, and I believe this is the final mimic in the game, so. You definitely want to go ahead and handle it. And we will get the Ring of the Evil Eye +3. So, of course, we've already gotten the Ring of the Evil Eye from Henri. But this is just the +3 one. I don't know where it is because it's garbage and I never use it. There it is. Yeah. So now we can continue along. And the way forward is actually through this door right here. But we actually want to get that item right there. So what we want to do is we can just kill ourselves. I think you can actually jump over it, but apparently we're not into that. So we're just going to kill ourselves. I meant to jump to the other side, but that clearly did not work. So now we have to, unfortunately, run past Madeira again. But that doesn't take very long. And it's good anyway because I had missed an item earlier, so we definitely want to go back and get that item. Which I'll show you here in just a second. We can just come back here. And Madeira is still chilling. Yeah, he's on this side now. I was gonna say he might be on the other side, but we went straight across the bridge. But there's actually a little path over here, and this isn't the item right here that we want necessarily. See, this guy's got the dragon head shield. Thanks, Buckwheat. But he was guarding a very interesting item down here. Not one we'll ever use, but interesting nonetheless. The Dragon Head Great Shield. So this is the big one, of course. It's going to be down there with the Great Shields. It has okay defenses, but honestly, like for a Great Shield, pretty garbage stability. The shield, as hard as a great boulder, is formed by the head of the descendant of an archdragon. The ring knights, by command of the gods, stood amongst the ranks who set out to slay the dragons, but their contributions were never lauded. So, again, it's not that useful of an item, but it's very cool nonetheless, because its special ability, which you've seen the ring knights with the spears do, is it does the poise damage. So again, we just want to trigger Madeira here to go ahead and torch all his friends. And then we're just going to go about the same way we did this last time, basically. Nothing to it but to do it. And again, the reason we wanted to do this, it wasn't to get the crystal lizard necessarily. It's really was just to be able to get this item, which coincidentally is Lap's armor. So Lap's armor is actually amazing armor. Doesn't look great though, so we probably won't wear it. But where in the heck is it? I am blind. I mean, am I crazy? Brigand, Mira, Northern, Sellsword, Drang, Follower, Herald. There it is. Ugh. So you can see it's very good. Steel armor of the amnesiac Lap. This plate armor body that covers the torso cleanly without even slight gaps provides heavy defense, quite fit to conceal a hollowed body, and indeed one's very identity. So it's interesting. So like they actually recognize that that armor specifically is to hide who Patches is, to hide Patches, make us think that, oh yeah, Lap is Patches, or oh yeah, Lap is this amnesiac. Nah, bro, Lap is in fact unbreakable Patches. Does that really not kill you? So as you can see, we're going forward now. We're progressing. Remember I told you this is where... Ooh, 1,000. That'll do it. Almost 1,000. Let's go ahead and kill those guys. You come up here, and there should be a bonfire right up here. We'll also be on the other side of the crystal lizard. Damn it. I didn't mean to fall. But since we have fallen, we just gotta go back around here. It's no big deal. But yeah, that's how you get that crystal lizard, basically. And like I said, this place seems like a maze, but it's really not. It's just, it's kind of annoying to navigate just because it's all like spirals, but it'll all eventually lead to the same place, so not really something to worry yourself with too much. And like I said, there should be a bonfire up here as well, so. So that's where we drop down, obviously, and then there's your bonfire. Alright, so this next part here is kind of annoying and kind of like super like RNG based. Basically, as you come out here, you'll notice a fine gentleman land in front of you, because you know what? He doesn't want you to pass, basically. So yeah, this is Midir. Midir, this is not, if you notice, he doesn't actually have a health bar. That is purposefully. He does have like a little health bar right there. The main thing with this is you want to do as much damage as you can to him as quickly as you can, and stay away from A, his fire, B, that death beam, and C, the ledge here. The ledge is honestly going to be your biggest kind of problem here, because the ledge will cause you to, your camera to freak out a little bit, and you may end up falling off. When he does that, just kind of stand back a little bit. And just keep whacking away at his arm, really. When he gets to a certain amount of health, Woo! Also, stay on his right side, by the way. When he gets to a certain amount of health, you'll see what happens. When he does that, he's going to do a crazy rampage thing. Just stay locked onto him and don't move. You're going to take some damage. That's okay. You just don't want to fall off the edge here. And keep that shield up. There you go. Once you get him knocked down here, he will fall down and you can just kind of check him out and come over to his head right here and just boing, boing. Goodbye, my dear. So he's chilling down there. What are the odds he's dead, huh? Probably not very high. We will fight Madeira again, I assure you. But for now, go ahead and collect your well-earned Titanite scale and progress forward here. So you'll notice here, this is just another kind of cathedral type area. If you're playing online, there will be about 10,000 messages right here. And if you're not playing online, you can kind of actually hear, if you listen closely, you can hear both an enemy making noise and you can hear a crystal lizard. But this was in fact the enemy that we heard, so go ahead and kill him. But you still hear that crystal lizard. Large soul of a weary warrior. Great, but you still hear that crystal lizard. Hey! Lightning arrow, but you still hear that crystal lizard. Alright, so the crystal lizard is not actually back here. But I think that From Software kind of used the crystal lizard's noise to kind of guide you and to keep you guessing here. Because who would have guessed 3 illusory walls, you know? The crystal lizard is actually up the stairs, by the way. But anyway, we got lightning arrow spell, which is probably the best, maybe the second best faith miracle in the game. Sunlight Spear does a lot more damage, but Lightning Spear costs way more FP. Or Lightning Arrow costs way less FP, almost or more than half. Alright, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Sunlight Spear costs more than twice as much as Lightning Arrow, and Lightning Arrow also is way faster and requires less faith. But the few female knights who served in the Age of the Gods used this miracle for dragon slaying. Draw a lightning bow to fire a lightning arrow. The lightning arrows offer a great improvement to the range of spears, and were said to have been used to pierce the eyes of dragons from afar. But remember, beautiful stories are always marked by embellishment. There's our crystal lizard, by the way. Yeah, lightning arrow, if you're, especially for PvP, it is a fan-freaking-tastic PvP miracle to be using. So a couple things when we come out of these stairs. You'll notice an elevator going down right there. You'll notice actually Satan out here. And then you'll notice this item that a statue of Gwen is clearly holding. With this guy just chilling. Hello, Gwen. We're not gonna mess with Gwen right now. We're not gonna mess with out there either. We actually want to go get on this elevator, which will take us up. And that's all we want to do with that part right now. But basically, as you can see, this opens a gate. And if you don't recognize where we are at the very first bonfire of well, the second, I guess, technically, but the first one of the actual ring city, which is the ringed inner wall. And this is good because this is actually where we want to be, because we want to go tell Shira that, hey, we knocked your dragon off the cliff like you wanted us to. And this is, in fact, the quickest way to go about doing that. We don't have to fight all these guys, but figure what the heck. We're not going to fight all of them, though. Alright, Shira. We knocked your boy off his cliff.
So, Medea hath into the chasm fallen, still his voice I hear. The dark grieveth him yet. I prithee, put him to rest, before the dark consumeth him, and his vows are forgot. Just afore the church of the princess standeth a tower, honouring ancient knights. There lieth the small shrine. 'Tis from there I prithee.
Y'all are ruining this. Yes. So, we know. Get me out of here. So we told Shira, we're like, hey, we knocked your dragon off the cliff. She's still like, I need you to kill the dragon. Which is fine. We will do that. But we're not going to do that in this episode because that is going to be it's going to be a rough fight, basically. But yeah, we're going to do one more thing here, actually. If you are on this elevator, you'll notice right there, you'll notice this little secret passageway. You just want to roll off the elevator, basically, when you get up there. This is actually the way to Medir. But first, we just want to come down here. We did this just so we could get this item that the statue of Gwen is holding, and it is the Chloranthy ring +3. So awesome ring. That is the final ring of the DLC. So, and of course, that's one of the better ones. We got, of course, the Chloranthy +3, Havel's +3, Favor +3, Steel Protection +3, Gold and Silver +3, and then Wolf Ring +3, and finally we got the Ring of the Evil Eye +3, wherever it is. So there's a lot of great rings in this DLC that you can get, and I would highly recommend you getting them. So we're gonna I'm gonna do one more thing here. And we actually want to go back to our bonfire, because in the next episode we are going to fight Medir. It is a hard boss. It is probably the hardest boss in Dark Souls, like out of any Dark Souls game ever. Probably not comparatively to Father Gascoigne or Orphan of Kos in Bloodborne, but I would put it way above like an Ornstein Smo or a Calamite or anything like that in Dark Souls 1. And Dark Souls 2, there's not really that crazy of a boss for the most part. So, yeah. What we want to do now, though, is take off Chaos Bed Vestiges. We don't need it anymore. We're not going to be using fire. We want a spell called Pestilent Mist. It takes 2 attunement slots, and or no, it takes 1 actually, and it only uses 13 FP. But that is going to be the strategy that I recommend for new players who are fighting Midir for the first time. You do not have to do that, but I don't know. I feel like it's easier. I just feel like it's better choice. Here's lightning arrow, by the way. You can free aim. You can walk with this thing. It does fantastic damage, but honestly, we are going to put the Lingering Dragon Crest ring on, and we're going to put... I don't know if we need the Sage's ring. We're going to put Chloranthy +3 on, just to get our stamina regen a little bit better. But this is where I'm going to show you here. And it doesn't matter what staff you use, honestly. That is Pestilent Mercury right there. We actually don't want to put that there. Now that I think about it, we probably want to put that staff right here. What's the lowest? They're all about 2 pounds, so we'll put this one here. So what this does, it just creates area damage. You see we're taking damage just sitting in here. What it does though is it poisons you, and it does damage over time, but it does damage relative to your maximum HP. So the higher your maximum HP is, the more damage Pestilent Mist is going to do, or the more effective it'll be. But yeah, the more damage it'll do as well. That is absolutely crucial for us, because guess what? Midir has the highest health pool out of any boss we fought to date, so we definitely need that. And right before the episode ends, I am going to show you right quick how to get to Midir's boss fight. Of course, that's where we drop down to get to the statue, but as you come in here and get your ember, you'll notice something. You'll notice Silver Knight with a sword, Silver Knight with a sword, Silver Knight with a sword. This guy doesn't have a sword. Well, easy enough, right? And then there's actually an item over here. It's Philionor's Spear Ornament. So this is actually a Covenant item. Proof of a church spear's fulfillment of duty. The spears of the church watch over the princess's slumber, and this serves as proof of their fulfillment of their duty. The embellished gold cloth is woven with a crest of young grass. The princess's knights proudly displayed these precious favors, which were most often seen swaying from their identical ceremonial spears. So again, that is a Covenant item for a Covenant that we are gonna discover here shortly. But first, I'm just gonna go ahead and get us prepped for this boss fight coming up. You'll notice Shira is here. Of course, Shira wants us to kill Midir, so she's going to help us out, hopefully. And then we're also going to get the antiquated set, or the antiquated garb. Antiquated plain garb, excuse me. Yeah, because we already have the antiquated set. Ordinary garb from an ancient land of sorcery. Hint, hint, Ulasil. The gold embellishments betray a faint residue of magic, but this clothing was never intended for battle. When a mission visited the Ring City long ago, one of its younger missionaries elected to stay behind. It was he who became the last recorded Spear of the Church. That is referring to Half-Light, who is actually another kind of character that we will meet here in a little bit. But anyways, guys, the path to Midir is down this hole. We will summon Shira. She doesn't help, but we will summon her anyway. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed the video, as always, make sure to leave a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button for me, and we will see you next time. Bye!